Alright, graphing inequalities. Basically, an inequality is a statement that compares two expressions. Remember, an expression does not have an equal sign. Now, a solution of an inequality is just any number that makes the inequality statement true. Now, some inequality signs that we need to review. Remember, your greater than sign looks like this. And your greater than or equal to sign, the only difference is it has a line underneath the inequality sign. Your less than sign looks like this, and your less than or equal to sign has a line under it as well. Now, an open dot when we're graphing an inequality means a less than or greater than. None of them will have a line underneath it. Closed dot means it's less than or equal to or greater than or equal to. Notice these two have lines underneath them, meaning that that solution could be a solution to the inequality. Alright, identifying solutions of an inequality. So we're going to look at, see which of these following are solutions of x is less than or equal to 7. Now, we look at negative 9. Negative 9 is a solution because negative 9 is less than or equal to 7. It's actually less than, so that's true. 7 is a true solution because 7 is less than or equal to 7. And since we have that equal to, that or equal to, 7 can be a solution, so that is true. Now 14 is not less than or equal to 7. So this is not true, and this one is not a solution. Now let's look at the following to see if there's solutions of x is greater than 2. Now, negative 5, plug that in, you get negative 5 is greater than 2. We know that's not true, so this is not a solution. Now 3 is, because 3 is greater than 2. So this would be a solution to the inequality. 2 is not true because in this inequality, unlike this one, it doesn't have the or equal to. So 2 is not considered a solution to the inequality. 6 is a solution because 6 is greater than 2, and that is considered a solution. Alright, so now we're going to evaluate to see if solutions are correct solutions to an inequality. So we want to know, is each number a solution of 2 minus 5x is greater than 13? So basically I give you the number 3. I want to know if this is a solution. I take the inequality. For x, I'm going to plug in 3, which I'm seeing if it's a solution. So I've got 2 minus 5 times 3, see if it's greater than 13. 5 times 3 is 15, and 2 minus 15 is negative 13. Now negative 13 is not greater than 13. It's actually less than. So this is not true. Therefore, 3 is not a solution. Those 3 dots just mean therefore. Alright, number 2, negative 4. Now, we're going to take our inequality again and plug in negative 4 for our x. So I get 2 minus 5 times negative 4 greater than 13. Now, 5 times 4, negative 4, excuse me, is negative 20. 2 minus negative 20, remember, keep. This becomes a plus, so change, and this negative becomes a plus. Change. So 2 plus 20 is 22, and 22 is greater than 13, so negative 4 is a solution to this inequality. This last one, negative 2. Again, use the inequality. For x, plug in negative 2. So I get 2 minus 5 times negative 2 is greater than 13. 5 times negative 2 is negative 10. Remember again, keep. Change the subtraction to a plus and that negative to a positive. 2 plus 10 is 12. And now 12 is not greater than 13, so this is not a solution. Therefore, since it's not true, therefore it is not a solution to this inequality. Alright, now let's look at graphing inequalities. So if I give you the inequality m is greater than or equal to 4, I know with this right here, this line underneath the inequality sign means I need a closed circle on 4. So I'm going to go to 4 on my number line, put a closed circle, and then since it is saying that m is greater than 4, I need to draw my arrow so that I'm including solutions that are greater than 4. So I'm going to go towards 5 and 6, which are greater than 4, and draw my arrow. Because remember, it is a line that will continue on. Now, another way you can look at, see which way you need to draw your arrow to know if it's greater than or less than. Whichever way my, basically like a mouth of the inequality sign, if it's facing the letter, say this is an alligator, here's the little teeth, or a shark, whichever, it is eating the m, so that means the m is greater than. It's going to be the bigger number. Now if it was facing the 4, that means the 4 is bigger than the m. So I kind of look at it as an animal eating whichever is biggest. Now let's look at the second one. Negative 2 is less than b. Alright, so what we need to know is 1, it's going to be an open circle on negative 2. It's open because it's not equal to. So it's open on negative 2. Alright, now what's going to be helpful is if we flip and rewrite this. Now I can rewrite it as b is greater than negative 2. That way we know that your answer or your solution is going to be anything that's bigger than negative 2. That's going to be negative 1, 0, 1, 2, and so forth. So I'm going to draw my arrow to the right, and make sure you put an arrow at the end because it's not a line segment. It doesn't stop at 6. It keeps going on. So we need an arrow. Alright, this third one, 3 is greater than x. We're going to rewrite that so we can look at it better as x is less than 3. It's the same thing. Notice, even if I read this left to right, 3 is greater than x, or I could read it x is less than 3, same thing. Alright, we're going to have an open circle on 3 because there is no line underneath this. So open circle on 3. And we're going to do solutions less than 3 because remember my mouth of my inequality is eating the bigger number, and in each one it's eating 3. So I've got to go towards the left. And I'm sorry I can't draw real good straight lines. They're a little humpy. I have issues. Alright. Now, we're going to write an inequality from the graph. So I'm going to give you the graph and say, okay, what is the inequality? Now, the first thing we need to do is look at the circle. If it's closed, that means equal to. If it's open, it's not equal to. So in this one, we know that negative 3 is the solution. It can't equal that. So we've got that. And we know that negative 3 is going to be the smallest number because the arrow is going to the right towards all the bigger numbers. So that means I'm going to have x is greater than or equal to negative 3. Now if you look at number 2, what's different from number 1 to number 2 is my circle is open in number 2 versus the closed one in number 1. That open circle means that 2 is not a solution. So I know that 2 is not a solution, not going to have a line underneath the inequality sign. And I know that 2 is the biggest number. All the other numbers are smaller than that. So that means x is going to be less than all the 2. So I write x is less than 2 as my answer. Alright, number 3, we've got a closed circle again, so that means it's equal to. So I'm going to say 0. Notice it's the smallest number in the solutions. So x is going to be everything greater than or equal to 0. And number 4, we have an open circle on 6. That means 6 cannot be a solution. And notice that everything greater than 6 is a solution. And 6 is the smallest number. So it's less than these x values. So since that, x is going to be greater than 6 as your inequality. Alright, let's look at some application problems because we all love those word problems. Alright, so basically we need to define a variable, which means what does your variable represent, and then write and graph the inequality. Okay, this first one. You must be at least 16 years old to drive. Alright, so my X is going to be the age of a driver. Alright? Now, we know you need to be at least 16. You can be 16 to drive, but you need to be at least 16 to drive. So I need to do X is greater than or equal to 16. That means I'm going to put closed dot on 16 because you can be 16 to drive. And I'm going to shade or draw my arrow towards the larger numbers because you can't be younger than 16 to drive. You have to be older, so it's going to be greater than. Alright, the second one, a class can have at most 36 students. Now, we hope classes don't have 36. Sometimes it's over, sometimes it's under. But in this case, it's going to be at most 36. So you can have no more than 36. So y, when we define our variable, y is going to equal the number of students. So I can't have any more than 36. I can have 36, but no more. So my inequality is going to say y is less than or equal to 36. That means close dot on 36, and I'm drawing my arrow towards the smaller numbers.